And one of the things I always try to teach is the underlying fundamental foundational principles that should guide and influence the decision-making process when designing a strategy aimed at maximizing the return on investment of time and effort that goes in. A lot of the times when people ask me a question, the honest answer, the real answer is it depends. There's a lot of factors and variables that need to be taken into consideration. I can't give a concrete answer that is, yes, this is the best for you, or no, this is not the best, and therefore the follow-up question would be, well then, what is the best? There's too many things to take into consideration. So what I try to do is teach the underlying principles to empower you so you can make the best decision for yourself. Now, one of the questions that's come up a lot lately in the comments, I think it was written 3 different ways, and I think what's happening here, it's like when a teacher's at the front of the class asking, does anybody have any questions? And the kid at the back is going like this, and the teacher's just ignoring. I'm not ignoring you. So the question came from a guy named David Morales. Number one, I think you're like my biggest fan and biggest supporter. You always have the most positive and supportive things to say, so I'm very appreciative and grateful for that. I'm not dodging your question. I'm not ignoring it. I was going to get to it when I have time, and right now is that time. So the question was, what is my take on high frequency training? Full body workouts doing maybe 6 sets per body part. Now, I can't give you an answer because there's a lot of things that need to be taken in consideration. So I'll talk about the underlying principles and you can make the best decision for yourself. So ideal training frequency, the answer to this question, as often as possible without overworking your capacity to recover. The more frequently you train, the more frequently your body has to recover. The more frequently it has to recover, the better it gets at recovering. The better it gets at recovering, the more frequently you can train. It's a virtuous cycle that basically feeds itself. But the demand that you impose during your workouts will determine the recovery required in response to them. So what you need to do is simple. Identify the maximum threshold and identify the minimum threshold required to stimulate progress without overworking your capacity to recover, and then repeat that as frequently as possible. But understand, the closer to the maximum that you work, the more recovery you're going to need. The closer to the minimum that you work, the more frequently you can repeat your efforts without overworking your capacity to recover. Now, the more frequently you train, as long as intensity and volume are managed, training more can increase recovery by releasing cytokines. Now, people that favor high frequency training are always quick to cite these studies that suggest that the muscles recover 48 to 72 hours after the workout. But that doesn't tell the whole story. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Now, the muscular system might be recovered, but when you impose a demand, you're imposing a demand on the nervous system, the hormonal system, the immune system. The nervous system takes like 5 times longer to recover. So to answer your question, 6 sets, full body workouts more frequently, it comes down to the focus, intensity, concentration, and effort that goes in. That will determine what you can get out of your body and what else you can even do. Because I could make those 6 sets per body part. You won't even be able to fucking walk after. You might need to go to the hospital. I could make it excruciating and you'll hate your fucking life. And even if the muscles are recovered 72 hours after, everything else might not be. And then doing that again would be counterproductive. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I could make it very, very easy. I could make it a walk in a park to the point where you could probably just repeat the workout like 2 or 3 times a day. It could be a fucking joke. So it really comes down to the focus, intensity, concentration, and effort that goes in. And also understand that your body will get desensitized to whatever you're constantly exposing it to. So even if high frequency worked for now, it might not work forever. So you might want to switch, you might want to adjust. Just make the appropriate course correction as you go. Now, another thing to take into consideration is this. You want a concrete answer. You want me to say, yes, that's the best thing for you. And that could go one of 2 ways. One, you adopt and inherit that. You put in a greater level of focus, intensity, concentration, and effort into your work. You get results. This feeds the belief that it's the best thing to do, and you keep fucking working hard and you keep getting results. The other way it could go is that I tell you that that's the magic number, 6 sets. You just got to do full body workouts frequently. And now you believe that you have the formula and you don't need to work hard. So you just kind of show up and go through the motions. In that case, you will not get the return on investment that you believe you're entitled to. And what you'll say is, this obviously doesn't work. Now I need another magic number. The placebo effect is one of the most powerful effects. So I could just tell people what they want to hear and they will get results, but they're not getting results because there's magic in the externals. They're getting results because of the focus, intensity, concentration, and effort that they're putting into their work. So I always try to teach the underlying principles that guide and influence the decision-making process to empower you so you can make the best decision for yourself in terms of designing a strategy to get the result that you're training for in the first place. So that's my take on frequency. As often as fucking possible without overworking your capacity to recover. You need to figure out what that is. I can't do that for you. You like the information, share it. Click the fucking button at the bottom. Subscribe to the channel. I'll keep bringing you the best fucking information you're going to find as it relates to trying to build muscle and get stronger.